Hello everyone, this is Bryant with SFOTsource.com, your premier guide to Six Flags Over Texas. We're here, Six Flags Over Texas, nice kind of end of summer update. Weather is a little muggy, kind of cooperating, kind of not. There might be some rain, we'll stick it out and see what happens, but even though it's the end of summer, there's lots of stuff going on here at the park. So we've got new dining locations, we've got ride refurbishments to talk about, and we're gonna walk around and kind of see what other kind of projects they have going on, because this isn't always kind of a standard time to be working on new things and opening new things. So it's kind of exciting. So we're kind of on the heels of Fright Fest, Kids Boo Fest, and then of course you go right into Holiday in the Park. So it's a very busy time for the park. Let's head inside. So one of the big issues we had last time was at the parking toll, and it was just, trying to figure out how to get into preferred parking and whatnot. They've added tons of signage now, so it is very easy and a very smooth process. So really the only thing we're waiting on now is for them to activate those license plate readers, but had a very smooth time getting into the parking lot today. Nice and painless coming into the park today. It's definitely not dead, but it's not just like crazy busy. First thing I wanted to point out is that this roller coaster coffee that's right across from front gate has opened, and based off the pictures, it looks great on the inside. We will hop in there and take a look. We made our way inside the brand new roller coaster coffee, which of course serves up Starbucks products. It's very similar to the pre-existing location, which they just told me will stay, so there will be two. You can kind of see the menu there. Did a really nice job with this. It looks great. There is a model roller coaster up top that actually runs, so we'll show that off to you as well. Look at that, it's got some really fun lights and a little roller coaster going over the hill. Very fun. So we just came out of the brand new roller coaster coffee. They have a really fun seating area out here. It's very nice and it's shaded because of all the big trees. And I think one thing I really appreciate is you can kind of just skip front gate if it's real crazy up there. But you see this bridge to roller coaster coffee. It's right over, if you're coming in and you're going over to Flag's Funnel Cakes, it comes up that way. But I think another great thing, just because of the kiddos, is the fact that it connects over to Bugs Bunny Boomtown. So if you're here for your kids and you need some coffee, it's really convenient to come from Bugs Bunny Boomtown and come get you some coffee. Love it. This was great. So as we were told by the great folks over at the brand new roller coaster coffee, that pre-existing roller coaster coffee here in Six Flags Universe will stick around, but there is some other stuff going on in here, so let's go check it out. So currently the kind of DC Comics area of Six Flags Universe is blocked off because it's undergoing a major refurbishment. So the park president has been a lot more vocal online about some of the projects they're working on, which is great because park gets dogged on a lot and they do a lot of stuff. They just don't talk about it. So excited to see how this turns out, and I assume once the DC Comics area is finished up, they will continue moving through this shop sector by sector. Right here near the entrance to Bugs Bunny Boomtown is Speedy Gonzales trucking across America, and we do have some construction going on here. This seems like they've been having a heck of a time with this little fountain feature over the last few years, so it looks like maybe we are done with it, but time will tell. If it's not going to work, you move on to something new, so excited to see this getting refreshed. We've traveled all the way down to the little crossover between Boomtown and Gotham City over here by Boomtown Depot, and they've been doing some digging over here for sure. I assume this is more of an infrastructural thing than anything. There are some marker flags over there, and as we kind of look across the pathway, you've got some markings on the floor over there and some marker flags that kind of continue down the railroad path. So it's interesting. Probably just some improvements to keep some things going, because we gotta have our Six Flags Railroad. Also here in the Boomtown area, you do have a set of restrooms, and the men's restroom has been put out of order. Now, if y'all remember, near the beginning of this year, they talked about restroom remodels, Boomtown being one of those on the list. So now that the tower restrooms are done, it looks like we've moved on to working on these Boomtown restrooms. Got Mr. Freeze rolling in the background. And we haven't talked about this big hole that's in the ground lately. Got Sky Screamer going up there. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's still here. We've got some more markings that kind of go across the floor over here. Oh geez, nothing to see here. So yeah, the markings kind of come from the railroad crossing all the way across to this back area behind Johnny Rocket. So I'm wondering if they've got to reroute some electrical or water, something along those lines. We reported on this earlier this season, but the brand new paint job on Batman the Ride has begun. And I think the best way to point it out is you can see the old paint there. And as we go up, you see the new paint. This is gonna look great, much needed. And Six Flags seems like they really want to be repainting a lot of stuff. So hopefully this is just kind of the beginning. I know we've gotten some flat ride repaints, which is great, but I love when the roller coasters get repainted too. We'll look at some other stuff as well. Come over closer to Mr. Freeze, and we can't quite go on this pathway that gives us a really good look because they've got all the equipment back there, but the first drop has already been repainted. That first loop has been repainted. They've also done the supports. You can see how shiny and good looking those supports are. And I assume they're hopefully doing a refurbishment of trains and such, so once they have the repaint done, the ride will reopen and be ready to go for guests. Got the backward running train of Mr. Freeze going today. As we head down to the newer section of Gotham City, Johnny Rockets is closed. This is interesting. I'm kind of wondering if this is turning into a new restaurant or if they're just doing some upgrades on the inside, because this is definitely one of their primary indoor, eating places, restaurants. I don't know why I made that so difficult, so we'll wait and see what's going on here. Of course, here next to the Joker, you've got the old Harley Quinn Spinsanity signage taken down. It's been boarded up. We recently found something online that it is up for sale. So I guess that silly little rumor about it going to Fiesta, Texas just isn't going to happen. And here from the far side of Gotham City, you can see them working on Batman back there. And, they've gotten a lot more done than I thought they would have. You can see they've taken some paint off of that second loop over there too. So looks like the back half of the ride is going to be painted before we know it. We have looped back into the Boomtown section here by Mine Train and Mini Mine Train. And this was something we were curious about before, if these signs have been repainted, and we can confirm they have. And you love to see the hand-painted stuff. There's a lot of really fun, unique hand-painted things out here, so good to see this getting touched up on. As we pass the threshold into the tower section, we've pointed on this already this year of the new shade structure on this little seating area, but they're also adding fans. So just a really small little thing, but it's going to be very nice on those super hot days. Here in the tower section next to Texas Arena, this shade structure I believe has been here for a while, but you've got the tables and you've got the big fans. So this is a nice little place to hang out here in the tower section for sure. As you head towards Shockwave under the oil derrick, you run into another railroad crossing. And just like in the Boomtown section, got more markers. So everything looks like it's pointing to some work that's being done on the railroad in one way or another. it's interesting. They also go out this way too. Oh, there's one there's some really far down there too. Very interesting. We have ventured over into the Texas section, and here in the blacksmith shop are some horses. So during Holiday in the Park, you've got singing reindeer, and right now you've got spooky horses. Wonder what this is about. So we recently learned that for 2024, we are going to get a reimagined log ride experience here at Six Flags Over Texas. So what we've been told is that the world's first log flume ride is going to be one of the longest now. So we can confirm that they plan on connecting this one to Flume 2, which of course is going to make it a very long ride. So on a more interesting note, we don't know the manufacturer of this redo, the vendor, and we don't really have an opening date, and we don't really have any solid design elements that we know about. They haven't released any artwork, anything. We've got a name, Rio Lento, and we've got that they're connecting the two together. So this is going to be a really interesting project. It seems like it's definitely still in the conceptual phases and not so much in a we've confirmed this and we've got all the art done kind of phase. So we'll have to wait and see how this pans out. Jeffrey Siebert, what are you doing here? And here in the upper Texas section, of course, is the Crazy Horse Saloon, which we know is turning into a VIP lounge of sorts with drinks. And can't say anything externally has really changed since we've been here last. Maybe a little bit more wood and such, but no real details or updates on the inside of this. But looking forward to it opening, even though maybe we don't want it to be in a performance venue, but you know, there's a lot of push or pull when it's time to move on and make changes. So, and one thing we failed to point out last time we were here is in the France section, you have these cabanas that you can rent now. It's a little interesting in my opinion. I do want to know in the comments below what you think about this, but you know, they come with safes. You can kind of see them over there, and then of course you've got all this lounging area. They do have fans and stuff in here, so it's just kind of an interesting spot and an interesting concept in a dry park. But like I said, I'm curious what y'all think in the comments below. We've rounded back through Mexico towards the front of the park, and the other big change coming is the addition of the Tostitos Cantina. So I don't know when they started working on this, but it's looking pretty far along. I love the design on the outside. Lots of fun elements. Doesn't look like we have a menu yet though, so we'll have to wait and see what this is going to serve. I'm sure it's some kind of nachos plates, which is pretty in line with the Six Flags food offering. I do feel like they've done a pretty good job kind of elevating the presence of this booth. I love the dark trim. You've got the fun little bar here now with the seats, all the little 3D elements, the get to the good stuff, which I assume is a Tostitos slogan. Don't know much about my Tostitos, unfortunately. But yeah, it's pretty gutted in there, but they've definitely started doing some new work. I like the new tile back there, so I'll be eagerly awaiting a menu. This is a fun new little thing they're adding. All right, everyone, that does it for this look at all of the things happening here at Six Flags Over Texas. This is pretty exciting. I love the new food booths, the new roller coaster coffee, the Tostitos thing looks really interesting. I'm really curious to see what's going on with Johnny Rockets, if it's changing or if it's just being maybe remodeled. Time will tell. But you know, all of the beautification projects with, you know, the repainting of Batman, and I'm sure there's even some other things planned that we know about, are really good things that are happening. And you know, definitely glad that they are actually happening and not just something that may have been planned at one point and isn't being filled out on. If y'all have any questions about Six Flags Over Texas, make sure to let us know in the comments below. And also check out SFOTsource.com. That is a very in-depth guide to the park. And you might be able to find a lot of answers to your questions there. We thank you all for watching. Take care. We'll see you on our next theme park adventure.